Hey, lovely people. And so I believe you can see my feet from here. Gonna tilt this down a bit more. Perfect. So we got a full body. And so while we wait for folks to log on, I am going to go ahead and guide you in a welcome first and foremost, right? Welcome. My name is Christina Wary. I am the creator, founder of Thick Girl Yoga LA. And I appreciate you being here with me today. Happy Love Day. And it's on Venus, a Venus day, right? Which is Friday. So I am here to remind you to love on yourself. Even if you do have a significant other, even if you don't, it's most important to make sure that you give yourself some love, right? And so with that, find yourself in a comfortable shape, pose, position. You can sit cross-legged like I am here. You can sit in a chair if that feels good for you. And we'll start with inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Allowing those shoulders to sink down as you exhale. Relaxing your eyebrows, your jaw, and allowing yourself some time to just breathe. Notice here the elbows can rest on the thighs, the palms on the knees. You can even take the hands to the body if that feels good for you. Feeling the belly expand, the chest rise. Knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be today. Breathing deeply into the belly, into the heart. Tuning into the sound of your heartbeat. The flow of your breath. Next exhale. Begin to move your body in a way that feels good for you. Maybe you wiggle your toes, your fingers. Maybe you take the arms up and over the head. On your next inhale, feel the chest rise, the belly rise, and exhale, slowly taking that right ear over to the right shoulder. Inhale, come on back to the center. Exhale, allowing the left ear, to get as close to the left shoulder as you can. If you like to use the hand to assist with that, you can do so. Tune into what feels best for you. Notice I'll say that throughout our practice because it's important that you learn how to tune into what feels good for you while being guided. There's so many people who are injuring themselves because they are not, inhale, come back to the center, tuning into their body, and they are listening to the teacher, and you know your body better than anyone. So while you can, of course, challenge yourself, it's best for you to be aware of your edge and what's best for your body today. We're going to drop that left hand to the side of the hip. Inhale that right arm over, giving the body a nice side stretch. Notice here, if you like to bend that elbow, extend that left arm out a bit more. You can do so. We'll inhale, push off those left fingertips, come to our center. Exhale that right arm down, inhaling that left arm up. Opening the heart. We'll inhale, come back to the center, take those arms up and over the head. Take a look up. Bring the palms together, interlock the fingers. We're going to push those palms towards the sky. Exhale, turn the palms down, bring the palms together and down to the heart. Going to interlock the fingers again, and this time we're going to do some wrist rolls, making some circles with our wrists, just giving them some love. Noticing you can go from the right or the left, whichever is good for you. Just know that we'll do the opposite side as well. There's certain parts of our body that we don't give a lot of love to often, right? I feel it's our wrists and our feet. So again, tuning into what is best for you. Go ahead and go to the opposite side now. And notice here, you can extend those arms out. If that feels good for you, you can keep the elbows bent at the chest if that feels good for you. Just tuning into your body on this beautiful day after the rain has cleared. The air feels a little different, right? Thank y'all for joining me today for this impromptu live session. It's so important that we know that there's so many different ways for us to love on ourselves. And so I'm here to remind you of that through movement today. Exhale, go ahead and bring those hands down to the knees. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat, kick the knees over, and come into what we call a tabletop. Those hands are right up under the shoulders. The knees are under the hips. As we drop the belly, lift the head for our cow. We exhale, tuck the chin, and lift the spine for our cat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. And as we go down, we tuck the chin and we curve the spine, pushing up through those shoulders. Inhale, lift the head and the hips. I also share prenatal yoga. This flow is great for those who are expecting. Just to give some love to the spine. Also, we're engaging the pelvic floor here as well. Notice here, you can get some hip circles in. I like to move my hips from side to side here. Notice you can, again, get those hip circles in, taking the hips down to the heels, pushing through those fingertips, exhaling down and inhaling up, rising. If you like to continue your cat and cow, you can do that as well. Again, tune into what is best for your body today. If you got those hip circles in, we're going to go ahead and do the opposite side. Exhaling down and inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Beautiful. We'll come back to our center. Strong tabletop. Again, if you need to bring those hands back under the shoulders, you can do so. Go ahead and bring those big toes together. Open the knees as wide as the mat. And if you have a bolster, you can grab it as we're going to put it in between the knees like this. And give ourselves a nice little rest for the lower back. Next, inhale, we'll bring those hands back to the mat. Coming back into our tabletop. Here, we're going to lift the knee as if we're going into a fire hydrant. I think it's called a fire hydrant. Bringing our foot forward so the foot meets the pinky. So here we are in this high lunge. Notice if this feels good for you. Notice if you want to extend that back leg going into what we call a lizard pose. Opening those hips, breathing deep. You'll feel this in the left side of the hip, inner thigh area. Inhale, tuck those toes, bring that knee back up under the hip so that we're back in that first position, that high lunge. Gonna walk that left hand to the center of the heart. Inhale, right arm up. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today. Taking time for yourself, which is so powerful. Exhale, come on down. Pushing those fingertips through the mat, to the mat. Gonna exhale, go ahead and bring that right knee back to meet the left. And so notice that we'll do everything on the opposite side. Inhaling that left knee up, swinging it around through the left to the left pinky. And notice as well, like your body may feel different from side to side, right? So the left side may feel a little different to the right may feel a little different to the left. So tune into, again, what's best for you as we extend that back leg. If you want to go into what we call a lizard pose. Next, inhale, go ahead and bring those hands back to the mat. And again, walking that foot, making sure that the knee is aligned with the ankle so the knee isn't necessarily going over and it isn't hanging back too far. So we come back to our center. Walk that right hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, left arm up. Beautiful. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, take that left foot to meet the right. So we're back in our tabletop. We're going to come to the center of the mat, tuck the toes, push through the fingertips, rise, downward dog. I always laugh at downward dog because in my yoga teacher training, we were taught that downward dog is a resting pose. And now if you're not used to being on your hands, it can be a lot. It's definitely a strengthening pose. Go ahead and walk your dog out. Walking your dog out is bending the knees, taking the thighs to the belly, keeping the spine nice and straight. Inhale, go ahead and walk the hands back to the feet to the hands, and you're in the full forward fold. Grabbing the elbows, shaking the head. Releasing the arms. Inhaling halfway up. Bringing those hands to the thighs, the shins, the knees, coming into what we call a flat back. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, rise all the way up, slight bend in the knees, take those arms up and over the head, relax the shoulders, breathe. Well, exhale, bring those hands down to the side, come into what we call a mountain pose. And so here we are in our mountain pose. Y'all see I wore red today. I like red though in general. Red represents the root chakra, right? And everything comes from what? The root. So root chakra represents security, protection, foundation, and allowing ourselves to be rooted here in our mountain pose. Shoulders back, heart forward, tailbone slightly tucked, that core is nice and engaged as we stand in our power. Next, inhale, go ahead and take a step out into a wide leg forward fold. Notice here if you have blocks that you can use those. They're always great. I was looking, I thought I saw someone coming. So bringing the hands to the hips. Exhale, fall forward. Allow the hands to fall last. Bringing both hands to the mat. Inhale, arm up. And we're starting with the right. Usually we'll start with the right throughout all of our practices. Exhale, come on down. And again, notice here too, if you like to bend those elbows and go deeper into the stretch, you can. I have like freakishly long arms. So sometimes I like to go deeper into the elbows. Inhale, opposite arm up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If you're flowing with me today, give thanks for your body showing up for you in all the amazing ways that it does every day. Exhale, come on down. Let's turn those toes outward. Bring the feet together just a bit. And so you're still about at 2 or 3 feet width. As we lift at the waist, coming into our goddess squat. So that tailbone is tucked. Lift that belly. Open the heart and breathe. Inhale, rise. Taking the arms up and over the head. Relaxing those shoulders. Exhale, come on back down. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Inhale, rise. Next, exhale, come on back down. Goddess pose. As a full spectrum doula birth worker, I love to share, inhale, rise, that our goddess squat is the original birth squat. Women would get into the doorway, hold on to the door, and allow gravity to assist them in allowing baby to make it earthside. So it's one of the things to remember for those who are expecting and practicing prenatal yoga. The movement here is going to strengthen the thighs, give some love to the lower back. And so we'll be here with it. We'll go ahead and walk the feet together a bit more, turning those toes outward, taking a look up, bringing those palms together, down to the heart as we begin to make our way down to the mat for our yogi squat. This is another shape pose that is great before, during, and after labor. So notice here, if you like to grab a bolster and a block, use it to support you. You can do that, lifting the heart. If it feels better for you to keep those arms down, those hands on the earth, you can do that as well. And so we're going to bring our hands down to the mat. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale down. Inhale, opposite arm up. Exhale down. Go ahead and bring those hands back down to the earth, pushing through the fingertips, lifting those hips. Notice those toes are going to go turn forward. Go ahead and walk the hands forward. Allow the feet to follow. I'll meet you in downward dog. Walking that dog out, moving those hips. Exhale, come on down to the knees. My lunch is warming up. I'm going to turn it off, y'all. Give me 1 second. And so we're in our downward dog. We've made our way down to the mat. Go ahead and open the legs wide here And you can't see my toes, but those toes are pointing up. And notice when those toes are pointing up, you're rooted down in the thighs. Inhale, both arms up over the head. Relax the shoulders. Exhale and fall forward. Notice here the toes may want to go forward with you, but we're going to stay rooted, keeping those toes up, breathing into the lower back. Here you can come onto the elbows. If you have blocks at home, you can use those as well. And if you have a bolster, you can use that as well to allow yourself to be supported, right? Like, that's the jam. Allowing yourself to be supported. Because at times, you have to surrender to that, right? And some people look at props as, for beginners, and props can be used throughout your entire practice for the rest of your journey, just to support you, right? And so we'll inhale, rise, come back to our center. Take those arms up and over the head. We're going to turn towards the right because that's what we start with. Exhale, fall forward over onto that right leg.